muskmelons, hurtleberries, cucumbers, tongue, and turtle. What do all of those things have in common? Well, General George Washington ate them all here during the earliest days of the American Revolution, when he first took command of the Continental Army. So you could say that George Washington not only slept here, but that he ate and drank here too. In this video, I'm going to tell you 7 things, and probably a few more, that General Washington and his staff ate while they stayed here at what would become Washington's headquarters in the first year of the Revolution. Upon Washington's arrival here in Cambridge, Massachusetts, in July of 1775, one of the very first orders of business was to house the newly commissioned commander-in-chief of the Continental Army and provide food. During the first few months of Washington's stay here, large amounts of fresh produce arrived here at headquarters. Things like hurtleberries, lemons, limes, and cucumbers. Now, the term hurtleberry was a new one to me, and evidently it comes from the word whortleberry. But whortleberries are not native to New England. And yet hurtleberries were coming here to Washington's headquarters in the summer and early fall of 1775. But the term hurtleberry can also be applied to any type of small, dark berry. So what Washington and his staff were probably eating here were blueberries. Lemons, limes, and cucumbers arrived here sometimes by the hundreds. So Washington's headquarters was awash in fresh produce during the summer and into fall 1775. And not just the hurtleberries, the lemons, limes, and cucumbers, but cherries, peaches, plums, muskmelons. So you might be thinking, wow, that's a lot of lemonade and fruit salads. And I would think that too. But there was a much more practical, much more necessary use for all of that produce rather than consuming it fresh immediately. And that practice was likely being contemplated, if not implemented, in early fall 1775. Because that great influx of fresh produce arriving here at Washington's headquarters was not going to last. Hi everybody, it's me, Katie. Welcome back to my channel where it is all Revolutionary War all the time. On this channel, we venture out on historical action adventures and we visit the actual places where events of the American Revolution occurred, like today here in Cambridge, Massachusetts at Washington Headquarters Longfellow House, which is part of the National Park Service. So today we have a lot of ground to cover, just like General Washington did. So I hope you're wearing your adventure pants, because today we are off again on another historical action adventure. The siege of Boston dragged on all through the summer, all through the fall of 1775, with the Continentals still holding the British to the Boston Peninsula, where they had retreated on April 19th, 1775, after the battles of Lexington and Concord, which we talk about a lot on this channel. On June 17th, 1775, during the Battle of Bunker Hill, we know the British do gain that foothold on the mainland after seizing the Charlestown Peninsula. But by late November 1775, all of the fresh produce arriving here at Washington's headquarters stopped. And the deliveries became composed of almost entirely meat. Beef, mutton, fish, pig, pigeon, calf's feet, tongue, all arrived here. Now, of course, they had been receiving meat all along of all different varieties. But by late fall, early winter 1775, practically the only fresh produce now arriving here at Washington's headquarters were cranberries. Which brings us back to all of the lemons, limes, and hurtleberries that had been arriving all during the summer months. Now, we don't know exactly how the food that arrived here was prepared, but I suspect that the fresh produce was pickled or jarred during the warmer months in anticipation of the deep freeze that would settle over New England during the winter. And so hurtleberries preserved as jam and the citric benefits of lemons and limes all preserved, and even cucumbers pickled as pickles would all supplement the winter diets of General Washington and his staff, especially during wartime. And another food that was here on the menu at Washington's headquarters was described as the finest repast for an epicure and a luxurious gratification. Do you want to guess what this food was? If you do, leave it in the comments below. And I hope you'll consider giving this video a like if you're enjoying it, because it tells YouTube that there is an audience for really in-depth Revolutionary War videos. Okay, so that food in the 18th century was considered a great delicacy, and it was turtle. Interestingly, according to the household accounts here, someone or someones were paid in order to dress the turtle or prepare it. And that's not at all surprising given what a laborious process cooking a turtle seems to be. Dealing with the head and the shell and the fins and the bones. And the whole process had to begin the night before the turtle was even going to be served. The turtle would be boiled for several hours and possibly mixed with shallots, parsley, thyme, mace, clove. And there was a stuffing made from other parts of the turtle, which would be baked in an oven and then kind of all mixed together and stewed in order to create what was apparently a great delicacy in the 18th century and would have been very much enjoyed, I presume, by General George Washington and his staff, and perhaps any formal guests that they were entertaining here at headquarters. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll consider subscribing and coming along on our next historical action adventure, especially if you liked learning about the cooking process for 18th century turtles. Thank you everybody so much for watching and coming along with me on this adventure. I hope to see you in the next video.